We planting seeds in the streets where the hearts is cold, where the young ones bleed, where the truth ain't told, where the pain run deep and the dreams get stole. We bring light to the block, the righteous seed will grow. From boys to kings, from girls to queens. No more suffering in our sleep, it's just a righteous dream. We speak light in the mist, where the darkness unfold. Healing our youth, hoping y'all could save their soul. The YNs, they walking around with a pole in their book bag. Heart so cold, they end up with a toe tag. No pops, just a Glock and the pain in their jeans. Mama be working double, missing all of their dreams. So the block, they raise them up in a predator way, where the love is getting taxed and the trust don't pay. The OGs, they put some trauma like it's part of the code. Now they sleep with a pole, feeling safe on the road. I walk around with the word, exposed to deep in the night. Speaking life to the broken, trying to bring them to light. Told the shorties on the block, don't let the trauma define you. Yahweh see your scars through the fire, refine.
Yeah. We are in here. Yeah. We in here. Be more for real. Be more for real. Rated R for reality. Number one podcast in Baltimore, by the way. Y'all see the trophy. Number one podcast in Baltimore, by the way. Brought to you by way of Real Explosion. This program, this stream is brought to you by way of EV Mux. We appreciate all of our viewers, all of our streamers and subscribers. We're going to go ahead and do that for y'all. Yeah, it's crucial. It's crucial. We had a crucial moment, man. We appreciate y'all. I wasn't here last week, right? But I'm here this week. So we're gonna go ahead and shout that out for sure. It's still the realest podcast anywhere on the internet. It's still the realest podcast anywhere on the internet. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. I have the BMore4Real moment. For real, yo, it's hot as I don't know what out here. It's like over 100 degrees. Y'all see me with the rag. I made sure I bought the rag today. Y'all see me with the rag. I made sure I bought the rag today. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's hot as I don't know what. It is just extremely hot, and I can't do it. I'm a summer baby, right? And I ain't say nothing, but I had a podcast that was on my birthday too, a couple weeks ago, and I ain't even mention it. But the summertime is brutal for me. You know, I got locks, right? I got locks in my hair, and it's like it trapped the heat in. Every time I think about cutting my hair, I get so hot, I get so sweaty. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but look, I'm here. I'm live and live in color. We here. And it's BMore4Real. Yeah. Anyway, all that good stuff. This week, regardless of the weather as well, I want to say, you know, I work with BMore Pod and all the time, and I appreciate those guys, man, over there. It's a lot of work that's being put in over there. Number one, I want to say the sports show on Monday night. The sports show on Monday night was awesome. Like, it was just awesome. You got to stay tuned to the sports show in Baltimore. Slowly and surely, the sports show is becoming the best damn sports show in Baltimore, for sure. It's becoming the best damn sports show in Baltimore. It's a lot of people, a lot of talent that has already passed on the set, just in the sports mode, just in the sports realm of BMore Pod. It's a whole network. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and run a clip, right? Y'all already know what I'm about to do, right? For all the subscribers, y'all already know what I'm about to do, right? I'm going to go ahead and run a clip, right? But let's do the Kids Sports Show because the Kids Sports Show is getting ready to start. Again, you know, it's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. We want y'all to pay attention. We want y'all to focus. Football season right around the corner. Let's go ahead and run that clip.
No, that was the defense.
No, since y'all had...
Yeah, it really was. I respect Joe, but let's keep it game.
He was throwing dots that game.
You know, we had a triple crown defense last year. MVP quarterback, and we lost. And I cannot get out of my head.
them fouls giving y'all a problem.
They was talking about he was Lamar Jackson.
You said, "Oh, that was crazy."
Disrespectful.
That is. Look, she said that's Merville though. You can't say that they always put up a fight with y'all. You
They
can't
put
say
up a
they
fight,
don't.
but when the last time Merville won against Dunbar?
That's not the point. It's
No,
just they put up a fight.
That is the
When the
point.
last time Merville
We gotta
won
be
against Dunbar?
good game.
Y'all beat us. We beat y'all this year. Y'all didn't make it to the
No, y'all didn't beat
championship.
us this year. The rest beat us. Taylor Swift beat us.
Tell us what. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You see
Taylor
how?
Swift.
You know, I ain't gonna say nothing because it's kids watching, but. Let's just say her and Travis Kelce definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and Ravens fans don't like to admit it. When Kyle Hamilton plays Travis, he plays so bad for some reason. He do. Kyle Hamilton does not play good against Travis Kelce.
Yeah. We back. Shout out to the sports show. Shout out to the sports segment, man. Shout out to the sports show. Shout out to the sports segment. It is so hot. It is so lit. I was about to say it's so hot, but it is so hot, man. I'm telling you, it is really hot outside, and it's not for the weak. I am not one of the summertime. I don't got too much announcements to run down. You know, I'm gonna do the highlights of the week. Hold on, let me do this for 1 second. Let me make sure I turn on this. Give me 1 second. Yeah, y'all know we live and live in color. Well, I need that second. Wow, it's time for that second. I'm going to go ahead and run the Monday Night Sports Show clip. I'm going to be right back with you. Let's go ahead and run that clip.
I'm going to kill these mofos for real. Give me a chance. It was more of a comment right there. David because of past four.
But anyway, I gave y'all props. That's it. I'm done with y'all. That's it.
Oh, keep it coming. Keep it coming. It's not the end. It's not the end. V's a legend. Like.
That's super.
So, I mean, sometimes stuff like that does cause a distraction. So, had him off his game. Like, he knew something was coming out. Like,
pipeline,
when he was kicking that ball, something else was going through his head. 16 therapists, you know, accusations, you know, from 2012 to 2016.
God.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, like, you know, the timing of it, but just for 16. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously.
I was like, who does that? Who does that? Who does that?
So,
right, like people think you just go in there and boom, one cut, and you know it takes time and effort. And,
absolutely. You got to really invest into it. And
right.
You got to really like.
Tune in to Be More Sports Talk Live every Monday at 7 p.m. exclusively on the Be More Pod Network.
I'm going to kill these mofos for real. Give me a chance.
All right, I'm back. I'm live. All right. We appreciate BMore Pod. We appreciate the Monday Night Sports Show, right? It's a lot of things with the Monday Night Sports Show that you got to check out, man. The kids, the youth, Big Brother Eric, his clothing line, his book. Also, Tuesday nights on The Shameless. I don't have a lot of announcements for you guys tonight. I'm going to get straight into it. But, yeah, shout out BMore Pod. Shout out the whole network. Shout out the whole damn network. That's what I'm going to do. Shout out the whole damn network. That's what I'm going to do right now. But look. I appreciate everybody that's viewing right now. I appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers. What I want you to do, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Even if it's something that you do not like in this broadcast, right? Check this out. This program is made to deprogram you to what you have been programmed to. Again, this program is made to deprogram you to what you have been programmed to. I'm going to go ahead and clap that up. This program is made to deprogram you what you've been programmed to. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the T-app. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And I want people to remember that I am an advocate for men, first of all, and I'm up here by myself, second of all, and there's no one to rebut me or refute me, third of all. So if you have something that you need or want to say, drop it below in the comments, and we will respond accordingly. Without further ado, man, let's just go ahead and get into it. Man, let's go ahead and get into it. Right, we got the topic of the night, the T-app, right? And a lot of people know about the T-app, right? A lot of people know about the T-app, and we already got a comment. Big brother Eric, he said, "What's up?" I sent an icon. He said, "What's up? What it do, bro? How you feeling? How you living?" But yeah, dang, that threw me off track. Just for a slight checking. But Big Brother Eric, whenever you join the chat, you already know I'm sipping out the EBJR cup each and every single week. Y'all already know what it is, man. This is a live broadcast. But let's go ahead and talk about this T-app, right? Because I want people to focus on this, right? I'm an advocate for men, right? I'm an advocate for family. That's my standpoint, right? And I don't have a bias other than that, right? So, of course, I'm a man. Of course, I have bias being a man, being a father and stuff like that. And I'm also an advocate for a family, which in a way, essentially, I'm an advocate for women as well. So I'm going to just go ahead and say that. Anyway, as I digress, or as I regress, which I like to say, you know, English language is a whole bunch of hogwash. As I like to say, we're going to go ahead and get into it with this daggone T-app. Amazing. He said amazing. Welcome, come back. I appreciate you, Big Brother Eric. Excuse me. He said amazing. I appreciate you, Big Brother Eric. I really do. Excuse me. So let's dive into it. Let's dive into this T-app, right? And I want the people to pay attention to what is going on nowadays with social media. So remember the last two episodes that I had here, I was talking about how basically your thoughts are not your own, right? And how the government and all them people predict your thoughts, right? All this stuff coincides. So basically now we're given a new agenda with this T-app thing. And remember, this program is made to deprogram you to what you've been programmed to. So it's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't like or that you might not necessarily want to hear. But for listeners' sake, for confirmation bias sake, right? When you say you have confirmation bias, what is that? Look at our episode on confirmation bias. We break it down extensively, right? And this is very important, right? The T-app. Let's talk about the T, right? So on this T-app, it's not a dating app, right? But on this T-app, you have women that can expose the males in the community, right? And they could do this. They could do that anonymously. So for those who aren't woke, or for those who haven't caught up, these are people that can report anonymously, right? From my understanding, these women, they don't have profile pictures, they don't have names associated with them, and I'm just saying that on a surface level because, to be honest with you, all your information has been leaked. I'm gonna get into that as well. But anyway, on this T-app, right? This is a decisive and a divisive tool against the black community, and not just the black community, against families and households. And remember, I said early on in the show that I'm an advocate for men, and I'm gonna keep saying that. A lot of stuff that I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep on repeating because it's Be More for Real. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a double entendre. We be more for real about Baltimore, but we be more for real about our circumstances. We be more for real about what is going on around us. And this is very important. And I'm not coming here to preach to nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I wanted to preach to somebody, then I would have just went to church. If I wanted to preach to somebody, I would have just went to church, right? It's hot as I don't know what out here, and it's a lot of stuff going on. But if I wanted to preach to somebody, I'd have just went to church, right? But anyway, as I digress, this daggone T-app, it's a divisive tool made to break up the families. I'm gonna just break it. Long story short story even shorter. That the T app, these are devices where we have to know what it's used for and what the use of it is for. Also as well, you know what? I'm gonna link it when it's time to share it because some people still call me. They don't know I go live each and every single Wednesday, by the way. They don't know that. But for those people that call me, I'm not going to subject that to you because I can hook my Bluetooth up, right? And I can just start playing some videos. But that's not what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to do right now is try to stay cool first and foremost. Y'all see I got the rag. I'm going to try to stay cool first and foremost. But second of all, I'm going to try to stay within focus on the task, and I'm not going to try to do too much. I don't have too much videos, but I do have something to say to the people. And for those people that stuck with me for this long, and we only, 16, 17, 18 minutes into the program, for those people that stuck with me this long, I want you to hit the like button real quick, and I want you to subscribe if you haven't already. Now let me continue. This daggone T-app, right? It's another divisive tool against the family. Another divisive tool against the family. And why do I say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that, OMG? Well, that's a great question. That's an awesome question. Why would the T-app be made for another family divisive thing? And it's essentially, right, what's happening is they are, quote unquote, exposing men, right, while they remain anonymous themselves, right? Red flag number one for me. Everybody report anonymously to this group or to this app, and the people you expose, they got their faces, their profiles, and everything else on the app. So number one about this T app is dangerous. And you might want to say, yo, why would you say it's dangerous? Why would you say stuff like this is dangerous? Man, you playing with people's livelihoods. When people livelihoods get played with, some things happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to waste your time either because we only here for a good time, not a long time, right? I'm going to go ahead and look this up, right? I'm going to look up the T app, right? And we're going to see some things that has happened. I wanted to bring up some clips and all that, but the equipment is not... It's not up to par the way I would like it to. It's been running crazy, especially since it's been hot this summer. The heat plays a big factor, right? So the T app. This is just a brief overview. I just Googled it, right? It says the T app is a women's dating safety app that allows users to share information and experiences about men that they have dated, including reviews and red flags. Recently, the app has been the center of a major data breach. Now, remember I told y'all, anonymously, or so they say. I'm going to hint to that, but I'm going to get into that as well. But it says recently the app has been at the center of a major data breach where hackers gained access to a database containing over 72,000 images, private messages, and other user data. This has raised serious concerns about the user privacy and security within the app. So, number one, ladies, for my ladies that want to know the tea so bad, and that's caught up in that. Number one is that your information and your user data probably has been breached, or it may have been breached. I don't know I don't know if they're gonna say 3 out of every 5, but they got over 72,000 people whose information has been leaked. And from my understanding, because I'm a man, and I guess you can't have men on the T app, right? From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong too, right in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong too. You have to put in your driver's license information, and they have to approve you to be on the app. And now what I'm saying is, oh goodness, this daggone T app, this is just another distraction. This too shall fade. Just like how Will Smith smacked Chris Rock on stage, right? Y'all remember that, right? So how long ago was that? And now we're not talking about it, right? Remember, we all forgot that Chris Rock got smacked by Will Smith on stage. And just on a BMore4Real level, right? Just on a BMore4Real level, right? On a BMore4Real level, we have the collapse of the bridge, right? How soon have we forgot about the collapse of the bridge? So remember, this program is made to deprogram you to what you have been programmed to. Again, I will say this program is made to deprogram you to what you have been programmed to. So we're not here for stroking egos, stroking feelings, or none of that stuff. And we're going to get into it. The deprogramming begins right now. Anyway, as I digress, right? So the TAP, right? They got all these men being exposed and all that stuff, right? And I'm gonna say some stuff, right? It's gonna get heavy, and I don't want to make it feel like that I am attacking a certain group of people, right? But we as people, we as humans, right? We as humans, number one. We as black people, especially, number two, because that's important, because that's who we are, right? That's who we are. But that's important, right? But we've lost the natural use of a man and a woman. The natural use. Notice the terminology and the words in which I'm saying. We have lost the natural use of a man and a woman. See, the natural use of a man and a woman is to reproduce and multiply, right? And replenish the earth, to take care of the earth, right? To till the ground, right? This is our job, right? But now we're so busy polluting the earth and all this stuff. We don't care about other generations. We don't care about marrying and reproducing and all that stuff. And this is why I was saying I'm not going to go against a certain group of people. Look, if you LGBTQ, that's fine. I disagree with it personally, but that has no bearings on who you are as a person. I can personally disagree with your lifestyle without dissertation where I feel like you can't be in my space, or I wouldn't do nothing to serve you or to help you if you were ever in need or ever needed to be served. That is not my point. That is not my premise. See, a lot of people right now, we are in a state where people hear what they want to hear. I could tell you straight up, like, yo, I don't have no problem with the LGBTQ community, right? But you would tell me, based on what I say, that, oh, he don't like gay people and all that stuff. No, I don't like the lifestyle. That's not a lifestyle that I agree with. If you just listen to what I'm saying word for word and stop trying to, psychoanalyze what I'm saying, then you can fully understand what I'm saying. Just take it word for word. I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not trying to dress it up. I'm not trying to be politically correct. You could tell, because last week I got cut off on the internet. I sure enough did. They cut me off on that government stuff, and they didn't share. They made sure it wasn't in the algorithm. So if you could, go ahead back and watch the last episode when the deprogramming actually begins. See, I need enough people to stand up to say that, you know what, this brother, he may not be the best of character. He may not be the best of representation, but you know what he's saying is right. That's where we have to be at. And that's what I was saying about confirmation bias. When we start to listen to people that's only going to stroke our ego, that's only going to tell us what we want to hear, then we can expect to be lied to more often than not, because people are not listening. People are not saying things to be truthful. People are not saying things to help you. At this point, they're saying things just to protect themselves and their standpoint of where they stand at with you. They are afraid, right? This is what social media, this is what the media has created nowadays. They've created a space where people are so timid and shy to say what they want to say and say it how they want to say it and mean what they want to say. They make you think 2 and 3 times about it. But see me, I don't. And if you're going to cut me off, you're going to cut me off, like a lot of people already do. But so what? I don't give a F. I don't give a F. I'm going to keep on saying what I need to say, right? Because this is my platform, and this is the one that the Most High gave me, so I'm going to keep speaking the truth. But anyway, as I digress, right? We have left the natural state of a man and a woman, right? We are made and we are put here to reproduce. See, now with the TAP, and you say, look, you might look at the title and you see the TAP, right? See, now what the TAP does is it creates a division between a man and a woman. See, and this is why I was saying, I'm not getting on the LGBT community, right? It's not because you homosexual or whatever. That's not the case. What I'm saying is that the heterosexual people of this community, right, of the world community, of mankind, so to speak, of human nature, so to speak, we are entrusted with producing the next generation of children. And that does not come out of LGBTQIA things outside of, adoption and those other options. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? If you know, you know. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, we got another comment, man. Yeah, it's an icon. He said, facts, bro. Facts, bro. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, big brother. But yeah, so we have left the natural use of man and woman, right? And see, you gonna ask yourself, how does this relate to the tea app, right? What tea is you gonna? I don't got no tea for you. I got some coffee though. I got some coffee, right? I don't have no tea. Wake up and smell the coffee, right? You don't wake up and smell the tea. You wake up and smell the coffee. See, the coffee, you can smell it throughout the house. You can smell it outside the house. It has a strong aroma, but the tea, it only affects those that the smell of tea. It only affects those that's close to it. Did you hear what I just said? Did y'all just hear what I just said? When you have coffee, you can smell the coffee, right? They say wake up in the morning, smell the Folgers, whatever you want to call it. You can smell the coffee, right, throughout the house. But the tea, you got to get close to the tea in order to smell it, right? That means something. That means something. I just thought about it just now because none of this stuff is written down. Trust me. I just go through labor-intensive stuff throughout the week to prepare for this type of activity. And what I will say as well too is I'm a male, like I said, and I'm up here by myself. So if there's something that you disagree with or you agree with as well, you're more than welcome to leave a comment. But if you have not subscribed already to the channel, go ahead and leave that subscription. Now let me continue. Now in the T app, right? You got this anonymous group of women, and I know it sounds bad to say, right? I'm not here to brown nose people, right? I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you so that you will feel comfortable where you at. As a matter of fact, people don't change unless they feel uncomfortable. Like I said, and I'm going to say it again, I'm not here to sugarcoat things and make you feel comfortable. As a matter of fact, people don't change unless they feel uncomfortable, right? So what I'm saying is that the T app, and what it's creating is just more division between the man and woman. The Bible says this, right? And I'm not going to be too much of a Bible thumper tonight, or in any occasion. I'm just trying to apply things. The Bible says this, right? That a house divided against itself will not stand. So if the man is battling against the woman, the mother is battling against the father, and all this stuff, that creates chaos for the children, right? For the future generations. And remember, I'm talking about the future generations that's here to come up. See, we got a lot of examples, right? Like how if you go to the BMore Sports Talk, right, on Monday night, there's a lot of youth. There's a lot of youth influence there, right? And a lot of times we don't hear them either. And we act like because we are adults that we don't have to hear children and what they have to say per se, just because you're adult. And it's the same thing with men versus women. Women have all the power now. The government have given the women all the power. But just like the T app, right? There's never going to be an app like that for men. And if there is, women going to easily, they will always easily be able to infiltrate such an app because men are not loyal to stuff like that. And I want people to pay attention to what I'm saying, right? Because this program is made to deprogram you to what you have been programmed to. So sisters, right? To my sisters, right? While y'all out there saying that this man is bad and all that stuff, guess what other women gonna do? They gonna follow suit because women stick up for each other, right? But men, that's never the case. Men, we have our own mind. If we really don't believe what's going on, we not gonna budge. We don't care how deep it is to you. We just not gonna budge. We are not that type of species. That should let you know that we think the same. We don't think the same. We don't act the same, and we don't do a lot of things the same. It doesn't make us more or less of a person, but it gives us a different dichotomy. It gives us a different view and standpoint on what's going on. So as I digress or regress, right? This damn T app. Right? This is the newest distraction to us. And why is this the newest distraction to us? Because you have people anonymously reporting, first of all, the claims can't be substantiated, right? None of the claims can be substantiated. It's just a bunch of rambling women talking about and bashing men, right? But those same women, they don't like if men get online and bash them. And not even on the app. I'm just talking about publicly. Not even on no private app where you have to get acceptance and put in your driver's license. Not even on no type of stuff like that. Like just the fact that a man has standards and stuff like that, it kind of like, it's like our women don't think. And I'm a male, like I said. So if we have women that's listening, please feel free to chime in. A person that speaks in absolutes is an absolute fool. So I'm not speaking absolutely. I'm giving my opinion, and I'm also giving facts at the same time. But this damn T app, right? This damn T app, and I hope people get off of it, because not only is your information at risk, but you are at risk of dealing with trauma that you didn't have to put up with had you not signed up for it. And remember, you signed up for it yourself. And people planting bugs in your ear that you don't even know is true and all this other stuff. It may sound true and all this stuff, but women and people in general, but women for sure, they tend to exaggerate a lot when they talk. It's just like, for us men, it'd be like, oh, and the woman screaming in the house and something's going on, and it sounds like you damn near close to death, but it's just a bug. And you want us to get the bug or the spider or something like that. To us, it's not that deep, but to a women, they scream to the top of their lungs, and it's just, it disturbs you. It knocks you off track as a man. And I hope our people start to understand that acts like these is stopping. It's a distraction. And, hold on. Also, right, what I'm going to do, because I don't want to talk your head off the whole time. I want to show you what they are distracting us from. This is the reason why they are distractions, right? Because we have to understand how entertainment works, right? Entertainment works when people are unpleased with the government and everything else like that. That's when entertainment tends to really take a boom. And if you listen to the episode last week, which I got cut off, YouTube made sure that episode got cut off, by the way. So I'm trying to stay clear of copyright infringements. I'm trying to stay clear of copyright strikes and, other YouTube reprimandations. And I don't know if that's a word. Y'all already know I'm gonna work up some words. Reprimandations. I think I just made that up. If it's not a word, it's a word now. OG Danny made it. But anyway, YouTube like to issue out their own recommendations or reprimandations. But yeah. Anyway, as I digress, right? So we sitting here battling with each other, and like the scriptures say, right, a house divided against itself will not stand. But let me show you the distraction behind it all, because every time they feed us a big distraction like the T app or any of the popular things that's going on, the P. Diddy trial, the P. Diddy case, things that take the country by storm, things that take the nation, things that take the world by storm, they absolutely put that up there, and they absolutely do it on purpose, and they do it for a reason, because every time there's a national distraction, there's a national plan being enacted. I'm going to say that again. Every time there's a national or worldwide distraction, there's a national or worldwide plan being enacted. So let me do this, right? I got to go ahead and I'm gonna hook up my Bluetooth. Hopefully y'all going to be able to hear this. I want y'all to hear this guy. And shout out to my cousin Nut, right? He shared this with me. Shout out to my cousin Nut. And like I said, for copyrights and all that stuff, because last week was crazy. Right? They shut your boy down. Well, it wasn't last week. It was the week before last. They shut your boy down. And I got to slowly build myself back up. But let's do this. Let's go ahead to the Bluetooth. We should be on the Bluetooth. Let me know if you guys can hear this. I want some ones in the chat if y'all can hear this, right? Let me know if you guys... Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Bill Gates is very interested in your water while everyone's distracted with indictments and...
Let me take it back.
Gates is very interested in your water while everyone's distracted with indictments and celebrity BS. Bill Gates, BlackRock, and Nestle just quietly teamed up. Yes, Nestle. Same company whose chairman literally said water isn't a human right. And now they're making moves to own it. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. Gates is buying up farmland that sits on major aquifers. BlackRock is pouring billions into water infrastructure. And Nestle? Still extracting millions of gallons while local communities run dry. They're not just buying land, they're buying access to rivers, lakes, groundwater. They're investing in the tech to monitor, track, and reroute where water flows and who gets it. This isn't about conservation. This is about control. Food already controls people, but water? Water controls everything. You can live without oil. You can survive without power, but water? You've got days. They already run agriculture, finance, and energy. Now they want to own survival itself, and no one's stopping them. This is a hostile takeover of the one thing we need to live. And by the time people wake up, it'll already be gone.
All right, we're going to go ahead and clap that up. We're going to go ahead and clap that up, man, because it's Be More for Real, yo. And for real, yo, I'm going to tell y'all. As strange as it may seem, there are things going on behind the scenes. I'm going to say this again, y'all. As strange as it may seem, there are things that's going on behind the scene that we can't describe, that we can't put our name on. We can't put a finger on it. But it's going on outside of the community. And this is the reason why it's important for our households to be intact. This is the reason why it's important for us as people, not just of America, but as black people, right? This is why it's important for us to get together, right? Because people will tell us, right? Oh, the reparations, even our own people, right? Even our own people, they will tell us reparations are not important. Like our ancestors don't need repayment from the roads that they paid for our success. And that is crazy. That's a terrible ideology to have. Think about how our people are excuse me for lack of better words, shitting on our ancestors. Like we really are. We really are. Think about how our people are made. I'm gonna tell you this, right? Because and this all goes back to the TAP too, right? Think about how our people have been divided amongst the nations, right? Democrat, Republican. There's many ways you can split. You could be light skinned, dark skinned, tall, short, fat, skinny, feminist. What do they call it in the adverse? Misogynist. You can be a feminist, misogynist. You can be all these things, right? All these different things to divide you. But what brings us together? What brings the people together? Oh, maybe y'all don't pay attention enough because the media has got your mind warped. If you don't care enough about the reproduction, the maintenance, and the function of this earth, then the earth will not survive. The earth will not. If you don't care about the maintenance, the maintenance, the reproduction, and all of that stuff about this earth, then we will expire. And this is what I was saying. I don't want to get into all this LGBTQ things, but these things destroy our community. It really does. I'm not saying that you no more or less black than anybody else. I'm not saying I wouldn't give you a meal. And I know a lot of LGBTQ would disagree with what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying I disagree with the lifestyle. That doesn't make you a different person than me. See, they gave us those LGBTQ and however you describe it, that's another tool of division because we still are black. We still are a part of the diaspora. We still are a part of people who do not know their nationality. We still are a part of people who do not know where we came from. And see, the reason why this does not sound good to you is because you've been programmed to receive things. You've been programmed basically to have confirmation bias. Let me just put it there, point blank. You've been programmed to have confirmation bias, right? And I'm not trying to get on nobody's case, right? Because we all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, right? But what I want to say is it's more important to that. And shout out to Shameless Unplugged, right, too. Shameless Unplugged, shout out to Shameless. Shameless Unplugged on this past week, July the 26th. That was yesterday, by the way. So I'm trying to act like I remember it and I recall it and all that. That was yesterday, July 26th, right? And they had an episode where they were talking about the men and the women and trying to find some cohesiveness between the two. If you have not seen it, go ahead and check that episode out. It was just a brilliant, well thought together episode. It also coincides with this T-app that I'm telling you about or that I'm talking about tonight, because see, now the T-app is just another way to divide us, right? And it's not the men. It is not the men. Who's responsible for the T-app? Who's the ones being accepted into the T-app? See, until we start to look at truths the way that they're supposed to look, the way that we're supposed to look at them, like the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me, Yah. If we start looking at things in that manner, in that respect, then we can start to heal from wounds where we've been hurt by. But see, a lot of times now, this society creates and it breeds a ground where, as though when people don't agree with you and don't accept what you're doing, right, instead of confronting them, instead of dealing with the situation, instead of changing yourself, right, instead of doing the right thing, which right is subjective in these people's mind nowadays. Just think about that. Right and wrong is subjective in people's minds nowadays. But just to do the right thing, right, is considered taboo. It's considered hatred. It's considered some type of shaming tactic, or however they want to put it. See, when it's something that gets you to do better, then we don't support it. And the case in point is in the rap music. As long as these entertainers and rappers and musicians and artists, right, as long as they continue to what we call in Baltimore dumbing out, as long as they continue to dumb out and do these dumb behaviors, right, they're gonna get the spotlight. Take Krishan Rock, for example. She do a lot of stupid shit, a lot of irritating shit, and excuse my language, but I'm just saying, she just do a lot of dumb, stupid, irritating shit, which it does not represent us well as black people, number one. It does not represent us well as people from Baltimore City, number two. And then it does not represent the females, number three. It doesn't represent women well at all, number three. And shout out to Krishan Rock, too. I'm not going to get on her case because that's not what it's about, but she's obviously struggling. She's obviously struggling, and we can't tell our people this, right? The women can tell us that, man, you broke and all that stuff, man. They can tell us anything they want, but it's the women that cannot hear positive reproach. It's the women that can't hear positive criticism, constructive criticism, in other words, of what I'm saying. And like I said, I'm not here to brown those people. I know for a fact women can't hear it, because the moment you start saying something that women don't agree with, they shut you down. They just shut their ears off. And for the men that do that, they've been raised by women, or they've had female influences behind that, because real men they can take the heat and they can dish it out too. Same fold and fold. But we've sold these women so much of a dream and so much of a reality that we can't even talk to them in reality. So I can't say I don't go through this in my personal life as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, damn. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Again, it's like, well, damn. You can put the food out on the porch, but it don't mean the beast gonna eat. You feel what I'm saying? So even when you are delivering a speech or a word where people can receive, and you're trying to make it seem as positive as possible, they won't receive it. See, we've become soft. See, especially as Americans, the whole American nation has become soft. Whereas though when people disagree with what you got going on, now you call them haters. See, me, from a BMore4Real standpoint, right? From a BMore4Real standpoint, I'm not going to say you a hater because you telling me I'm doing something wrong. I might have to come around to my senses. I might not notice that immediately, but once I do notice that, I'm definitely the type of person that's going to be like, oh, yeah, they had my best interests at heart. This is the reason why they told me I was wrong. See, and my father told me a long time ago, right? He said, your friends are not your friends. Your friends are really going to tell you when you mess up, when you're wrong. They're going to tell you, yo, you got a piece of lint in your hair, you got something stuck in your teeth. See, it's those people, it's those phony-ass people that can't tell you, right? Oh, yo, you got something in your hair, whatever. They're going to let you walk around with the lint in your hair, with the something stuck in your teeth, because they're too afraid to tell you to correct yourself. And you want to know why? Because this is the breeding ground, especially that social media has created. And this is another thing, too. while we at it. All the and remember I told you about the T-app and all. So all these women talking about men are broke and all this other stuff, right? I want to introduce those women that don't know math in particular to something called statistics, right? And only about 20%, maybe 20% of Americans own over make over $100,000 and $150,000 a year, right? 20 to 15%. So what that tells you, and even those people that's making $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, even they are broke in today's economy. But as far as the people that try to flex, be like, oh, you broke and all that other stuff, 80%, let me just say it like this, and plain, 80% of Americans are broke. I don't care what you see on social media. I don't care what you see on Facebook. I don't care what you see on YouTube. Most of the people on social media are broke. We are broke. I say we because I'm included too. We broke. Why are we going to act like we can take a vacation each and every single year? Why are we going to act like, look, I'm telling you, this is what social media creates when you don't use it the right way. It's like money. You can use money and you can spend it to pay somebody to unalive somebody else. Or you can use that money, invest in the business, and create generational wealth. See, money in and of itself, is not wicked, it's not evil, but it's what you do with the money. It's what you do for the money, to get the money. That's what matters. And so now we got people out here nowadays that don't know the true meaning of life. See, all this material stuff that you burn bridges over, and that you, excuse me, for lack of better words, that you shit on people over for material gain, for stuff that you cannot take to the grave with you, shame on you. And a lot of this stuff, it really does come from our women. And I want our women to realize that material is not gain. For our fellas, material is not gain. Just because you got a bunch of chains around your neck or whatever. Material is not gain. That does not substantiate or validate the person who you are. Because without those chains, without that money, you still are who you are. And we are so afraid to dive into the deepest things about life that we become so shallow. We are so afraid to tell people the truth that we rather lie to them. And see, we don't know the definition of lying, right? Lying is not just like, oh, I know I made a right, but I told you I made a left. Lying is not just straight out lying. Lying is with intent to deceive, because believe you and me, right? Something that I want people to pay attention to, right? I want you to pay attention to this, right? A lie, and it's not a dictionary definition. I'm telling you the true definition, the definition that applies to all biological and technical systems. See, definitions, I can go into that all day, but once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll further explain a lot of that stuff in my Attack on English series that I've been putting together extensively over, I don't know, the last few years or so. But anyway, as I regress or digress, right, you cannot blame the other side. Basically, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. We are going to sit here and we will be hypnotized to social media so bad to the point where as though we don't understand simple definitions such as lying. To lie, it means with intent to deceive. So I can actually tell you something that's true, but it can still be misleading and I'm still lying, even though I'm telling the truth. Did you not hear what I just said? I can tell you something that's true, that's a fact, right? But it be misleading, right? Which makes it a total lie. Oh my goodness, they ain't hear that. I ain't preaching, yo. I am not preaching, yo. To be honest, it's like people don't want it's like people don't want to hear it, because once the spotlight is on you, once it's on you to change, once you the person that's expected to change, guess what's going to happen? Nothing. You rather move on. You rather say, oh, take me as I am or have nothing at all. No, we have stuff to work on as a people, and especially in relationships. And I want us to get it together as black people, especially. See, the T app, this stuff is made to divide us. This stuff is and it's like I said, this is not something that's doing of the males, at least not the straight males who like women. And this is the programming that's going on with society. See, they program us for women just bash us all day long. And the moment a man says something that he disagrees with about a female, see, now that's misogyny, right? But really what's the case is you are the opposite of a misogynist, which is it's not misandrous. You are a misandrous, right? And like I said, I don't plan all this stuff, so I gotta figure out all these words, and sometimes I'm gonna make up words. So just bear with me, right? Just bear with me. I might make up a couple words, but see, what's really the case is we have a lot of misandrous out here. We have a lot of people that don't respect male authority out here, and I would hate to say, you know what I'm saying, a lot of men don't have respect for women. That's not the case. See, men are taught how to respect women. Women are not taught how to respect men. And you got to remember, I'm a man up here on a podcast, on a platform by myself with nobody to go back and forth with and respond with. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, you have to put it in the comments and we will respond accordingly. But as far as I can see, just on the kitchen table level, see, the kitchen table level is just the application of knowledge. See, knowledge is knowing the right way. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. But on a kitchen table level, we're talking about practice. I'm going to get into a lot of this stuff when I talk about the attack on English, right? And I don't want to dive deep down too far, but I want people to understand and overstand and understand what I'm saying. So, right, you got people that practice law. You have people that practice medicine, right? So we have doctors and lawyers where they call it a practice, right? But it's not a practice as we know it. See, practice in its literal sense is just the application of knowledge. It will be more associated with wisdom. You are applying what you know to practical real life situations, right? Right? I say that to say this. A lot of stuff that we do, it just don't work, right? I can go on and on about what's happening. I'm not going to be downing the women in our community and all that stuff, but our women got to get it together. They really do. Nothing that they say makes sense. You know, you quick to call a man gay and all this stuff for behaviors and all this stuff. Men can't do this, can't do that. You order pink lemonade, you order a salad, whatever the case may be. You broke, you gay, you all this other stuff. The moment a man has a discrepancy with a woman, all hell breaks loose. Now he's sassy, now he gay, he the same thing that you described him as before. So there's no win with us, right? And a lot of times, I want to say this too, a lot of times, us as men, because I'm an advocate for men and for families, right? A lot of times, I would say 9 times out of 10, a man only receives unconditional love from his mother. That's the only woman that will ever love him properly. I say 9 times out of 10 because that's not always the case. Of course, there's always anomalies. I'm not talking about anomalies. But 9 times out of 10, that's the case. But then also, right, we have women that baby and coddle these men, right? When men are trying to raise these kids and all stuff, they baby and coddle these men and these sons. And they become weak and vulnerable. And you wonder how when you raise weak and vulnerable men in this society and women say, no, I'm not going to date him. We are not raising husbands and we're not raising wives. We're raising people that's totally independent of each other. We are on the opposite spectrum of each other. We're going opposite directions. We need to get on the same page, because if you're teaching your daughter how to be strong and independent, but I'm teaching my son how to be a husband and how to treat women, then there's a discrepancy. And I'm just gonna leave it there, because ain't nobody, and I'm being facetious because I know there are people, but it's few and far in between. I know there are some people that teach women how to be wives and how to treat a man, but for the most part, women are not taught how to treat men. That is the problem. And when we first learn as men, as children, the first teacher, 9 times out of 10, more often than not, is our mother. And our mothers, they out here, they have no respect for men. And I'm not trying to bash women or nothing like that. Like I said, this program is made to deprogram you to what you've been programmed to. So, I'm not here to brown nose you or whatever to stroke your ego. That's not what we here for. We here for the truth, right? So I'm going to just say that. We here for the truth. And look no further than the T-app, right? I'm going to get out of here, too, because it's getting late. Look no further than the T-app. Because you have these women that's out here that's willing to bash men, that's willing to keep themselves anonymous, that's willing to make up stories and say anything about a man. And we're doing all this stuff against a man, but what are we doing to build our men? What are we doing to build our men? Remember I said I'm an advocate for men, right? I'm an advocate for family as well. But what are we doing to build our men? Every time, and I want people to realize this too, because I feel like if it hasn't been said, it's not gonna be said. Now a lot of y'all mixtapes and all that stuff is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Niggas can't rap. Y'all say the same thing these other rappers do. You sound like them, make the same music, right? So a lot of these rappers, yeah. But for the ones that's really talented and all that stuff, you don't know how many loopholes that they have to jump through in order for people to just believe in them. Matter of fact, it's the strangers that believe in you first before your own people do. As a man, especially as a black male, not your family, not your girlfriend, none of them will believe in your path. See, with the girlfriends and all that stuff, they girls and all that stuff, oh, she do lashes, she do nails, whatever, she sell food. Oh, yeah, women, they stick up and they look out for each other, even when they on BS. But as far as men, we will never do that. And that goes back to what I was saying about the T-app, too. It's not, there will never be like a T-app specifically for men that women will not be able to see and expose immediately, because you have a lot of men that just are men. They if they don't believe something, they're gonna be bullheaded and strong, and they're gonna go totally against the grain, whether they know it or not. So it's never gonna happen. And then men think differently than women. So like if a man say, oh yeah, she at 304 and she ready to go on the first night, she TTG, you feel what I'm saying, and all this other stuff, what you think other men gonna do? They gonna sign up to go right behind that. The other men that's sneaky, conniving, all that, yes, they coming right behind that. They coming right behind. It's not like how women. That's why y'all got the T-app, because y'all know, and y'all need them red flags, because y'all know other women gonna stay away. Once one woman or two women, 2 or more women say something in agreement about a male, y'all know generally for the most part, women gonna stay away from that man. That's why it was created. See, this program is made to deprogram you what you've been programmed to. Think about what I just said. Rewind it back 10 to 20 seconds, 30, 40 seconds, just to realize what I just said to you. Because it's ultra important. That's the dichotomy that we have in this lifestyle. That we have in this lifetime. That's the dichotomy. We are unable to do the things that necessitate and facilitate survival now. And I doubt this is other cultures of people, because they survive fine. It's us that have a problem with it as black people. And I had to be more for real about that. Because there are Jeffrey Epsteins and all of them people all in their communities, and we don't know about them until they become national news. But trust and believe, there are a lot of them, which is why the jails are mostly white, right? But that don't never break. We would not know, right? We break ourselves down for them. It's time for the deprogramming to start. Again, it's time for the deprogramming to start, because it starts with us. We have to look beyond the social media. We have to look beyond what the ideal is, and we have to see that these things are just distractions. So this T-app and all this stuff is just another distraction to keep us distracted from Bill Gates and them trying to control the water, right? Once they get control of the water, which I can't, look, I'm just speculating, right? Don't take this as facts, but I shared it. And if you missed it, you got to rewind it to go back through this. But they're trying to own the water. They already own the food. Notice how Americans used to have chicken coops and farms. There used to be a lot of private farmers and all that stuff, and farmers markets. Nowadays, we all depend. Well, I'm not gonna say we all, but for the majority of us, we depend on the government and these supermarkets to provide us with food and medicine. When just 40 years ago, 30 years ago, we did not depend and rely on these institutions and these governments to do anything for us, especially not 100 years ago during slavery and during Jim Crow and all those other laws. And so we have to realize that. We have a comment, Big Brother Eric. He said, right. He said, we got to see past the distractions. Stop letting them control your mind. For sure, for sure. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And it's like MK Ultra. It's all about universal mind control. So, they're trying to control our minds. They're trying to control our hearts. This T-app, all these other stuff is just distractions. Look, we need our families more than ever. We need our wives more than ever. Wives, you need your husbands more than ever. We need each other more than ever. See, the family, They like to say Christianity is not exactly in the Bible, but if one can chase 1,000, two could chase 10,000. You understand what I'm saying? And so they feel the same way on the opposite team. You understand what I'm saying? If I could divide a house, if I could just divide the one and two, the head, then the whole body gonna fall. They know this. This is the art of war, right? 48 Laws of Power, right? Robert Greene, right? Have you read it? If not, it don't matter. If you know, right? But this is this is war. And they call it the gender war. On this side, it's called the gender war. But let's make no mistake about it. The Most High, the Creator, did not make a mistake. They like to say, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm going to tell you, it was two chickens, male and females. That's what came first. I don't got nothing against the LGBTQ community or none of that stuff. But what I'm just saying is you can't reproduce like that. So for those of us who are not a part of that regime, for those of us who are responsible and entrusted with taking care of the communities and providing for the next generation, that's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to keep focused because that's why Planned Parenthood and all that stuff is thriving. They are trying their damnedest and their hardest to get rid of us. But like I said, this is BMore4Real, man. I'm an advocate for men. I'm an advocate for families. I'm an advocate for black men especially, you know what I'm saying? But look, this is the realest conversation anywhere on the internet. I promise you won't find a better conversation because it makes you think. I'm just here to make you think. I'm not here to ridicule you or criticize you. I'm just here to make you think. Think about what I said. Take a deep thought about it because now look, I'm gonna end with this too, right? In terms of Americans, we don't like what we so-called immigrants coming over here because they're stealing jobs and they're doing all this stuff. So you do all the best that you can to preserve these jobs, to preserve these infrastructures and all this stuff, right? And Trump with his deportations and stuff like that, right? Mass deportations. Now, this is the same thing that's going on inwardly. We have a family, but we allow a bunch of outsiders to come in and infiltrate the family. Then they divide the head from they divide the head and break the man and the woman up. And now the household has been separated the way as though now they have control. They can manipulate anything beyond that point. You got to understand this is a mental game. Your mind is the strongest muscle. I know that you would like to believe it's your biceps, your triceps, your quads, all this other stuff, right? Hamstrings. No, the strongest, the strongest muscle in your body is the brain. We must think, we must observe, we must watch. See, being awake has nothing to do with your zodiac sign, your horoscope, and all that stuff. Being woke has everything to do with being aware of what's going on around you. Hey, yo, this is the realest podcast. This is the realest conversation anywhere on the internet. If this is your first time listening, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I just want my people to know, man, especially our women, right, with the T app, right? Don't let somebody paint a picture of you or somebody that you don't know. Now you don't have to touch the fire to know it's hot. I'm saying it's a fine line, it's a fine dance between the two, but on a BMore4Real level, on a BMore4Real standpoint, that's all it does. I met somebody, right? A woman, right? And all she was doing was on her phone. And I swear to beans, this was like a week or two ago, right? All she was doing was on her phone. I'm gonna tell y'all something, some real stuff, right? All she was doing, she was on her phone, and she was on ChatGPT, right? And she was getting readings. First time I ever heard about this, right? She's getting readings from ChatGPT, readings, trying to ask her about people and all that other stuff, right? And ChatGPT, she said, well, they said this about my sister, and it was right, and all she could do was laugh because it was on point about the readings and all that stuff, and she was trying to read me the whole time, and I'm just like, well, we in that age. We are definitely in that age where the social media, where the machines, where the algorithm can tell you and dictate how you think, and based on what that tells you, that's how you gonna treat that person. And it was crazy because I don't know her like that. You know what I'm saying? I just met her. But she trying to read me like, yo, what you trying to read me for? And I just met you. What are you trying to read me for? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy work. And then she on the phone the whole time. I mean, like, typing, like, and she's into it like this. Yeah, I'm just into it. I'm just like a fiend, like a kid on a video game. Like, this is the age we in. And I promise you, this was like last week or the week before last. Don't even know her. Don't know her from Adam or Eve, a can of paint, or a can of ink, whatever they say. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know her. But I found that interesting that nowadays, this is what's going on. And I know a lot of people not going to want to listen to what I got to say, but it's the realest podcast anywhere on the internet. If you don't want any confirmation bias, even if you don't like the program, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, especially if this is your first time. It's BMore4Real, brought to you by way of Real Explosions, rated R for reality, realest podcast on the net, realest conversations on the net, brought to you by way of Real Explosions. Keep it locked with us each and every single Wednesday. I'm your co-host, OMG Danny, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is. BMore4Real.
We planting seeds in the streets where the hearts is cold, where the young ones bleed, where the truth ain't told, where the pain run deep and the dreams get stole. We bring light to the block, the righteous seed will grow. From boys to kings, from girls to queens. No more suffering in our sleep, it's just a righteous dream. We speak light in the mist, where the darkness unfold. Healing our youth, hoping y'all could save their soul. I told her, bro, you're a king, not a beast in a cage. You was made with a purpose, not to die full of rage. And sis, she don't smile, she just stares through the pain. A victim of our silence and emotional change. But we lift off slow, show a prayer still heals. That Yah is still close and his anointing is real. Our trust issues is heavy, it's a war in our soul. Heart been shattered so many times that she barely feel whole. The pain in her past got her walking on edge. But I told her that she royalty, so lift up your head. Cause ain't nobody perfect, yeah, we all got scars. But Yah, he see your tears, yeah, he there when you call. We planting seeds in the streets where the hearts is cold, where the young ones bleed, where the truth ain't told, where the pain run deep and the dreams get stole. We bring light to the block, the righteous seed will grow. From boys to kings, from girls to queens. No more suffering in our sleep, it's just a righteous dream. We speak light in the mist, where the darkness unfold. Healing our youth, hoping y'all could save their soul.